It's the first week of November, and after a month, I feel like I can weigh in on this amazing collection of 30 songs. I hesitate to call it a Jeff Tweedy solo record because it's definitely not. Check out the packaging. So there is disc 1, disc 2, and yes, we get 3 Jeff Tweedys on disc number 3. Jeff Tweedy has been performing live and doing some sporadic recording with all of the people that are on this record, and he is out touring right now with everybody on the record except for James Elkington, wonderful guitar player who was not able to do the tour, but he is out there with his sons, Spencer on drums, Sammy, an incredible vocalist, and an interesting keyboard synth Moog player, as it turns out. They're all credited in various configurations on all 3 of these records. It's weird, a 3-record set. There are 30 songs on here. But there are also clear, what's the word I'm looking for? When I think about these 30 songs, so many of these songs look back in time. Jeff Tweedy is talking about his parents. And you can make the correlation really easily because he has created these songs with his 2 sons and a very kind of like a family unit group of younger musicians. That's what sticks in my mind is an overall theme of family. And, there is a closing track on record number 3 called Enough. Listen to that song closely. You're going to hear, especially in the little intro, the instrumental section, wonderful guitars. You're going to hear a clear line back to Waterloo Sunset, the Kinks. Now, I'm already starting to jump around quite a bit. Let me just kind of finish this family loop idea that I'm thinking about. When you listen to Enough, it's one of the more upbeat songs on this 30-song set. And it makes sense that they are currently closing out their concerts with the song Enough. It's uplifting. It's joyous. The harmony vocals are absolutely amazing, particularly from Sammy Tweedy. And if you look on YouTube, you can actually find the live debut of that song, which occurred in Chicago at the Vic Theater this spring. Jeff Tweedy does a run of shows at the Vic for various charities and benefits every year. I don't know that he's missed a year. I don't know. I'd have to do the research. But looking at that video, it's just Jeff with an acoustic guitar. Spencer and Sammy are flanking him. And you can see in Jeff Tweedy's eyes the joy that he sees with his sons as they come in and harmonize on the choruses, parts of Enough. And it really kind of caught me. I am childless. And watching that video, I made life decisions. And life got in the way for me, personally. But that is that is something that really it makes someone take a step back and seeing the joy in Jeff Tweedy's eyes, seeing his sons there, fully formed adults, having the luxury to share in each other's work, create, make something beautiful, share it with the world. Family. Some of these songs are really quiet and subtle. I am thinking immediately of a song on the first disc called Parking Lot. A standout track, in my opinion, on this set. Parking Lot features very sparse guitar and a spoken word vocal delivery from Jeff Tweedy. He's looking back on himself. He is in a very contemplative kind of stream of consciousness mode on the song. It's a perfect song for 1 o'clock in the morning. Your family is in bed. Maybe it's a Friday or a Saturday night. And maybe you have a tendency to stay up late and listen to music. Put on Parking Lot the next time you do that. It is powerful. If I had to pick a favorite disc from the three, I would be actually kind of hard pressed. I am still working through all of these songs, 45 days later. It took me a week or two to actually open up this package and dig into it. There's a kind of a mental thing with, oh man, a 3-record set. Boy, Wilco had Cruel Country, which is a double record. That took me a while to get through. Oh, I don't know. Trust me, you're going to be rewarded. If you don't have this, I highly recommend it. At least stream it. And it's really cool because all 3 of the records could stand on their own as being great pieces of work. I'm going to kind of scattershot. I'm just going to kind of give you some highlights. I've got some notes here from a handful of songs, maybe even 8 or 9. I want to start with Betrayed. Betrayed is a really cool song, and it includes a hat tip at the very end to A Day in the Life. One of the, more amazing touchstones that you could include in a record. A Day in the Life, the very ending of A Day in the Life, an iconic track from, yes, you know who it's from. And that brings to mind, back to the family unit, and thinking about the family unit on this record and the Tweedy family. During the pandemic, they were doing the Tweedy Show, and they'll do an occasional episode. It's on Instagram. You have to follow Jeff's wife, and you can see that when it goes live. It comes from their living room. They are hanging out. They're not watching television. They're visiting amongst themselves, and they're trading songs and reminiscing. One thing that comes to mind here is the incredible music knowledge that Jeff Tweedy has and has imparted onto his 2 sons. The knowledge goes deep. The experience goes deep. The curiosity is deep. And you can find touchstones all over Twilight Override of different artists and songs and snippets of ideas that were lifted from songs. A drum track, a backbeat, for instance. There's a song on the 3rd record called This Is How It Ends. They've lifted the same in-the-pocket beat that you can hear on Out on the Weekend from Neil Young from Harvest. What an incredible song Out on the Weekend is. This Is How It Ends is also a great song, and it has that touchstone. It's like familiar. Have I heard that before? There's incredible discordant guitar lines and solos. and some random synthesizer lines delivered by Sammy throughout that song. So that is called "This Is How It Ends." Great track on disc 3. Track 4, disc 1, "Forever Never Ends." A very familiar Jeff Tweedy-ish song. This harkens all the way back to early Uncle Tupelo, maybe even the debut Wilco record. There are elements and a familiarity there as well. You know, could have been an outtake from maybe Still Feel Gone. Definitely has that feel. "Sign of Life," another song from disc 1. Beautiful background vocals, and again, Tweedy is kind of singing his way through it. Very, very heavy Graham Parsons feel on that song with the instrumentation. Just, again, familiarity, comforting, countryish, country rockish. Definitely a Graham Parsons influence there. I've talked about "This Is How It Ends." I've talked about Enough. I've talked about Parking Lot. How about the lead track on disc 3? And this was one of the lead singles that came out in advance. "Lou Reed Was My Babysitter." Full-throated harmonies on this. Jeff Tweedy's kind of growl and intonations that he does off chorus throughout that song, absolutely amazing. Incredible drumming from Spencer Tweedy. This is a perfect rock song. Disc 2, "Out in the Dark," another great song. Ambient, layered guitar, and incredible vocal harmonies. That is definitely a feature of this record, is the vocal harmonies and just kind of the groupthink mentality. Watch some of the live performances that you can find on YouTube for various songs. I'm looking forward to seeing this tour when hopefully it eventually makes its way to Denver, Boulder, or Fort Collins. I'm thinking that'll be in March or April. There's going to be, of course, the Wilco shows around New Year's, and there's Solid Sound. But I'm sure he will be hopefully getting this unit together for more shows. They've been doing an extensive run. And that is my take. And I'm still absorbing it. I'm still learning more as I listen to more. This is a special collection, a special set of songs that has a different feel than the previous Jeff Tweedy solo songs. It does seem a little reminiscent of Suki Ray, the Tweedy album. Jeff and Spencer and other folks, I think James Ellington was on that too. But this is something a little bit different. It's special. It's been getting rave reviews. I highly recommend this. The pressing is great. I have the kind of white ghost vinyl. I'll show you one. Kind of a gray smoke. Really nice pressing, dead silent. Very well produced, well engineered, good mastering. That is Twilight Override. If you do anything at all, go check out the 2 songs that were performed on the Colbert Show. You'll find that on YouTube as well. Seeing that really made me kind of really pay some more attention to this set. Some dedicated listening was involved. And I'm finding myself streaming this in my car and coming back to it quite a bit over the last 2 or 3 week period.